You know, these types of awards, they mean a lot to family, and they also mean a lot to the organisations that you have supported and worked for, and the colleagues that you've had through the past, and it's a reflection on them, I think, more than me. I've been very, very blessed to not just play with a whole bunch of amazing players, an incredible generation, but also extraordinary generations of people in broadcasting and also in player rights movement. Some legends of the game, and so that's really been the benefit. And I think it just reflects well on everyone that I've had the opportunity and the privilege to be involved with. Football, I think, teaches us all a great deal about multiculturalism, and that's what's so special about the game, and it's been a central part of my whole experience across all of the fields that I've worked in football. When I was 16, I walked out of Lismore into the junior national team, and I walked into a change room of all cultures that I'd never seen coming out of the country. And that was the beginning of the journey in the game to really understand the beauty of Australian multiculturalism, and nothing can teach you that in Australia like football. And so then, in the Socceroos, it was the same. Watching the Matildas and befriending them as colleagues and was the same. And then, of course, walking into SBS was just another home of multiculturalism through our shared love of football. And now my human rights activism and social justice work is all about that. And so it's a great privilege to have spent, now 50 years in the game. I started when I was 5. Really 40 years since I walked into that first national team dressing room. 40 years of living within multicultural Australia. That's a very rare, it's not unique, but it's a rare opportunity. And it's something that makes me appreciate what the game does for us, love what the game does for Australia, and have a really deep belief in what it offers to this country. There's been many immense contributors to Australian football, and my view is this, that there are people who work in the game, and then there are people who work for the game. I think for all of us, we should be remembered as the latter. And if that's the case, I'll be deeply pleased and proud. And by that I mean making whatever sacrifices are necessary, particularly as ex-players, because the game has given us a life. Nothing short of that. It has given us an entire life. It's given all of the players who have the privilege to play for the country, Matildas or Socceroos, it gives you a profile, it gives you a position in society, it gives you something to say for the rest of your life. I wore that jersey, I wore that shirt. It means something to all Australians. It means something very important. Any room you walk into in the country, people will know, if you've been a Matilda, that you're come from a very special lineage. And of course, we work hard and all those players have talent, but the game gives you that. And there's been literally millions of people from clubland everywhere who've contributed to build this game. And so we have a responsibility to give back everything that we possibly can, not to take from the game, but to give and give and give as much as possible. And I hope, not just I, but that more people can be remembered for doing just that. Yeah, football shapes Australians in a way that no other game can, and that's because it's the true face of Australia. In fact, it's the most beautiful face of Australia. Australian football, when we walk into a dressing room in the old NSL days, or in any of the state leagues, and of course continuing today with the new generations, we literally are in an environment that reflects the beauty of Australian demography and multicultural nature. But we do it in a very special way because we come into a space where everyone has this shared passion, we all love it, and therefore it breaks down all of those barriers. And so it gives us, more than probably any Australians, an opportunity to interact among cultures in a safe space whereby we just get to know each other, we play together, we play against one another, we get to respect each other as we understand the differences. And in the end, we turn around at my age and say, well, basically everyone's all the same. And that's what the game gives us, and that's a real gift, because not everyone is like that. Not all of Australia is like that, and not all of the world is like that. And that's why people in football, I think, have a duty to speak that language and to be the biggest provocateurs in Australia for our beautiful diversity. You just look, it doesn't matter if you're administrators, players, clubland, participants, whatever, a broadcast, whatever field of the game, just have a look at the diversity that we have there We're leading Australia in that respect. We always have with our national teams, with the integration, of all of our immigrant communities. And it's important that we champion that and that we fight for that, because there's people that want to take that backwards. Well, we're the biggest game in the country, we're the biggest constituency in the country when it comes to sport, and we should be standing firm. That's, I think, in essence, what I really love about football.